it is part of your personal data. O medical records, say wako hospital, na doctor aje wo data bi, na watwerɛ opipam, okoyo afa pipa no watwerɛ, ohwene wuti, wano. Saa nyema ni nyinaa, COVID report, one wo saa nyema ni nyinaa no, a part of your personal data. Afei, wo mental condition, say de wadwimu tie, say ya records no baby, say wadwimu etie, say na adwin no enya papa, say ye papa, ni nyinaa ka wo personal data no ho. Ɛna afei, DNA, say ye wo, say ye pese ye kyerɛ sɛ we ba no anaasɛ wo papa nie anaasɛ nyɛ wo papa nie ana papa we na wo anaasɛ nyɛ papa we na wo ana maame ye wo no de gyina hɔ kyerɛ sɛ nipa wo saa DNA records no it part of your personal data. Ɛna afei was sexual orientation. And he say we ye oba we ye bema. That your sexual orientation is your bolding Clive wa. Na ye kas ye bema. Sa bema no. Bema na we ye no. A part of your personal data. Nti ade ba ko emra no ye nya ye twitwitwe ho a ye nya ntumu that aspect of sexual orientation and kofo people say almost de ba oman mu a ye pese oman mu ni nyina nso ene omo nya adwen no eno nso so enko a na say enyama ni nyintuma na say sexual orientation Ghana de nim no say ye oba say ye bema eno eka ho ena say wa committee offense bi ana say ya allege say wa committee offense bi say e records mu a it become part of your personal data. Enti ye kan personal data enye say wudin nema ababubo so nyina even committing an offense. Our offense no ya gia tum na ya prosecute enti na say o ko utu kwan enti because kwaji police report fabra na yenhwe eno so kan o personal data ho. Enti eba be kan o personal chi so anya careful e say ayade bone a ebetimi ama odin bone ene ma odin bone a ekwan a ebe fa so use de atia wo no ya na ebebre etini pe bia wo ha e say wo ye very careful with enema wo ye because ye ka personal data we say ye ka so data break ye breach obi company bi there's a hacking ye breach your data system no ama personal data bi a reveal sa personal data enema mabubo so nyina no enema ni bi ka ho eno so yetigi no ama personal data ena say ye ka say enema eno so timima wanim ebeda ho no ene personal data enti sa nyema amabubo so nyina no interpretation section of the Data Protection Act 2012 no e kire yense sa nyema wei ene ne ekeka ho sometimes wo court a enema yaka no wo act ni mu no court no which is the Supreme Court etimi ma interpretation say ekoba bi na say High Court no kana say ofi de nipa ne ye kan ofi so won tie ase na opem interpretation a otimi ko Supreme Court nko ana emra ne mo ho kwan say omo interpret law no enti baby e kan law bia enti ase nya adwuma no Supreme Court and the interpretation nema enti de mabubo so nyina Supreme Court betimi de bia keka ho a kirekire mu even more to the point say de bia me ya twere no ha no kra no interpretation ko akire. Now, denti amani abra make sa de ma we nyina ne say ene no ye the information a efa ye ho a ye personal ama nkrofo bi na sa nkrofo no ye de sa information ne ma wo no e de na eso mo de sa information ne ye e na de ne ni kwa so mo de ye ete no behu obi na wakọ register obi a Facebook for say ye information we na se de be ye be boa ya me ya serve wo better na say ebe sumu yie eti eji udin yeji u email yeji u telephone number yeji u baby a wote yeji u phone number yeji u height yeji u waware na waware ye yeji sanye mani nyina na ye de form wo personal data ewo system ne so na sa personal data e ya de a eni hu kwan say se wonipa na wode mae no wadwemu no se wonte ase se eni kwan se ekọ baby a ewo se sa data na wode ama company no ewo se wo ho a enti say company bi afa enkrofo adwuma na omaji information about the people yaji ne medical health records yaji ne din yaji ne data ya gene niema bi ye de gu internet so o ma store se de be ya ye pe hom sem bi a betumi anya sansem na ya gene nyina no se emra ne masa institution ho kwan se otumi share sa information na sa information ya gene no se nya wankasa wode maaye no se wonte ase ma company na se otumi share company ni no kwan bia se wo share internet do be ko 17 section 17 of Act 2012 with the Data Protection Act no me do be ko 17 na ma kyerɛw ekwan ya sa data ye gifa ye ho emra no ye emra ne kafa ho as oman said ye be ye ne wo internet so na obi gi information na obi gi telephone number obi gi obi bibia nipa bi agi bia no e wo se wutimi hu die nti a wo gye de odi be ye ene de emra ne ma ho kwan se wo so se wo ye ene sa nipa na wo gye no de emra ne ma ho kwan se wo so se wo ye hwe wonya under any obligation say obi busa wudin a yesa wode ma no anywhere on the street e o mu say wudin ye public obi anim say be a friend Clive obi anim say a friend say be am din the Clive but emra enhya me keten say me hia obi wo kwan ho busa me din a e wo say me bom din kire no especially say obi afrew say me pe obi number na unim nipa no say am nim no so fa ne number ma me na me mfre no edru baby a isi nipa na oje ne number no se me bu ni me de boom akete ana me boom enketo ase de be ya obeti ase a wonni hu ekwan bi so no wonni hu kwan kra se wodi obi number ma obi abra wonyi nipa no consent ekwan bi so no se wonni enye bibi na aba na mra ana mranimfo ekase yehia because law ne ma emra no kwan sa police for ana say court ho kwan say omutimi gi information efiri bu habra ye ne consent and the emra no wo ho but say wo wagi agina mu say wo process obi data na wagi information no say wo de ya ade bi na all of a sudden ade na wo de information ye no wawie afa wo wie ye no wo sa de ye bibi foforo emra no tia enti say wo koyen act ni mu a from 17 to 26 and in data protection principles or maimu. Eti ekwanya ebefa so ebebo data no by the EC fuaji, the NCA fuaji, the MTN fuaji, the Vodafone fuaji, baby akoto aduane de omagye. Sa nkrofo no mogigi sa data information nyina no. Emra ne hye omketen okwanya efa so ese de information edifom. It we extra will say we your mind bapay. Within any information be a found who be no or political opinion, baby a free, race, ethnicity, or physical structure, medical records, and who here on mine. And you know, quite say information be found better bontia, or my whole quite say a mabontina better bonting. I will say we are very careful. Now, what kind from 17 now? What kind from 17 na wa say obi bia obey wa adwen se wogi obi data sa data no wogi data no e was say we take into account privacy of the individual. That means say wudin okoto bibi wo baabi na nipa ne ka che say ba chofa wudin no number mayen na de oje ane say wudin no number na ye agi no ye gi say bi ade na wo to no ebeduru a yebefrɛ wo de amaw ye gi sɛ ebia wudin ne wo number na wo de maye no eno na ye hwɛ sɛ yebetimi no wadi nkitanso na bibia ni a ebia betimi a refer to ne ade ebia no ne privacy ene ade a eye yaw pa ne sɛ a lot of companies were Ghana ha omuni data privacy omuni privacy policies omuni data protection policies eti omoye website a and one say if you want to communicate with us and if you want to mail us, go to this place and send us. Now, almost your email address, your email address, never message you send. Some information on marginal, it constitutes collection of data. It is a company in any proper privacy principles. That means company and Ankasa in the first place no, I'm not violating the Data Protection Act. Entenye se what design website keke Now what be to her say open contact here for information we get to us and all that. But the question is, some information na more gino apart from email no or sending no. Now more gini email address maybe and the telephone numbers near no. Some information no more the heading. I'm running say and some will be better some information. Only pa na gino. And was so making sure say there is privacy. The privacy of the individual say I unkwana wunim unkwana make a channel unkwana what this information and was so taking reasonable steps to protect that information. In 17 he say what would you say data no I funny pan data subject near why you personal data no and was so privacy and we hear side company na origin intenye baby na ese wugina and our website be an SL now pull information at the mom just because what to be and now person would be bintino or Mr. Fabra and I may dear and sana and I information you my end and send it to me. And was so warm privacy policy anyone with data protection and our privacy policy concerning with data no more general company ni am srew and prepare and found information come out. Na ade na ehuni se ye bebo udin o baabi na enya wane so obi jusu udin dia ye bibi na ye de na sa information na nka eni kwa se kwa bonten no ye de na fa akodi abonten man krofo e de omo se susom it will data and our personal data there it should be very very sensitive enye baabia na ese wugina na wo de information e fa ho nyina atodwa ebi. It is section 17 he say principles one I was say more gene body na agent accountability lawfulness of the process and say data no crowd more process no it should be lawful that means it must comply with the specifications and I say with Nema ya spell out or data protection act in him say comply forget it the people have already violated it in the first place no illegal. Say obeji obi information abra on comply with the data protection. And the schools, universities be brave at the student data, students' academic records, any day, they have no data protection. They have no protection policies governing these students. And to be resource crano, and I say ni index numbers near the end can you say reveal crano. They almost see publish some of the results no crano. It's not supposed to be so, but they do it because it is an academic environment, and that is how they go about it. But if you subject some of the principles in these schools to the Data Protection Act now, you realize a lot of these universities will have violated it. Then also apply academic records. Yes, okay, touch forms online. Fill it in here, my any other. Say I'm for what? Say information and invest in the what the Say I'm for what? Say I'm for what? I'm one me course now. Some information on Moji no. On Moji and F on Moji. On Moji the after the Omoji no. So after one say Omu you see the ABB and so win one and I hear talk crano. Win him see a ton. I'm with the company be and a company that started bombarded with advert. Win him cross be investing and ask baby I'll acquire plan and for no. Omo na information. But the question is, Omo Moji some information no. Are they in compliant with the Data Protection Act? It is a okay 18 na wana assembly jinapa was say obi bia waji obi personal data na o processing is say original type here e de agu ni system nim na obo din or upload you pictures that processing na e store on the database so no I was so making sure say when infringing on your privacy enti se ne u data bi wa bonten a say hackers bi a hack company bi as a company near baby I call pen edo personal data come out more na say na beto abonten na say without your consent and they supposed to have taken reasonable steps so be protected you have every cause to bring an action against the company intenenye baby akekene ese wokọ senoko baby na okoto ade ne fa telephone number mayana busa say aduane na wo to no telephone number de ne sen aduane na wo to atena ho age no ya gi telephone number de ayeden enti ne ya gi telephone number wan frɛ wo tie mu na abeje ye number so enso aduane na ben no akɔgye afa wo ho no mo a company na ono no gi telephone number no was started send no adverts promotions Was it the reason why India was your telephone number? And was it something you consented to say? About your telephone number na moje no mo de be den. Ah, would you two mu? So one giant now when you say be a wadwim no say you see Ghana we take a lot of things for granted. And then we have people's information everywhere and being misused by companies without recourse to the privacy of the individual and their information. And then, obia ko baby also or pay data. For information, for telephone number, show within, show telephone number, show this. Sankrofon emoji sa telephone number no. Bebre when it comes to compliant with the Data Protection Act now, they are zero. Obe obi laptop so kra na this information nigu. Na stipa ne kofia ne me hwe ne yire hwe ne nafofo hwe otimi the laptop na ya di nkofo details agusu no e open to the public for outsiders, third parties to have access to that information. Eti eka obi personal data enye ni din ni telephone number nko a ni picture mpo ana baby otene dan number kra no ye wetimi identify say e dan we kwakudia say kodi obi phone so ana kodi baby ani kwa say kodia you have infringed on somebody's privacy. It will be political say amanyosem kra adwenkyere so obi aka no obi afasa information no say unless it's public but private information is encrofo eche o madwen anamo bibi o mo disk o mo communicate ni ade na ni kwa say ba out o smafa me ko gu nanimu ase timrani say information bi a woji no it should be in a lawful manner. That is emrani ma ho kwan say de woji no obetumi age emrani na ma ho kwan o it is a lawful manner na okodwia ana akotena ba bi na de bibi kotena na ogada nkrofo information na wo gia it's a serious infringement on people's privacy. Inti abrochimpo se company bi gi data na bia omo company no you te se Facebook dia ya gi transborder data sharing. Se Ghana for a register of Facebook nyina sa data no Facebook wo sa data no Facebook wo no in a manner they are supposed to use it must comply with the general data protection principles. They can't use the data other than what they have stated they will use it for. Enti ebeka kra no ubedru baby abebo odin no na enkrofo astate point o sa okra we ufiri ha na wote omanie you see se obi bo bibi fa ho aya abrasa ade no onko na wonimu a etima wo yem hyew internet woko baby no obi gi information obi gi data if ene omkofo otu kwan kra yi a na aye form o ye form wa be ko bi atwe odin your telephone number chiro baby a wote time ade ba beduru ha ene woko companies a you were a lot of book log edaho okwa awatwe odin visitor time abai the obeye ho na be hu no some information a company na they must be able to make sure say it complies with the Data Protection Act. Say they be for details it should not even sometimes majority of them shouldn't be seen by a public eye. It is an penny na betro ni din no the telephone number betro ni din ti oba company anymore. The next person buy ya penny telephone number na we fashion. Oh okay. Ono so ba 10 o'clock. Investigation. Book no. So data protection principles no or Data Protection Act no, it is very key and you must ensure say whoever is responsible for the collection and processing no must be compliant with the act. Internet oko baby online now what ade any information but come privacy ho ko read at the current potia some information omo gi omo de beye You have a say. Obi antimi kan tell say obi age information. Say no say company me na akoto aduane wo ho na eje wo number na mo send no advert na ade. Obetimi afre company na ka tell say but according to the Data Act ne say me din na wo mu database munyin film. And they are mandated to remove the name. Enti was say na what you say your personal data is your private life. It is your unless say what consented to say you using it publicly. Enti bibi bia e fa ho say me do ko me do ko US on personal Data Protection Act section 1 was say any information related to an identified or identifiable natural person. Act your friend data subject. An identifiable person is one who can be identified directly or indirectly, in particular by reference to an identification number or to one or more factors specific to his physical, psychological, mental, economic, cultural, or social identity. Enti ye ka personal data and just within and wunim and wo body ni wo age o. Your psychological it is part of your personal data. It will mean to me ko gina baabi enka se nipa we na adwemu eka no. Eyede no hu ye was me call hospital na akotwere ni din say wanya ni tipai no. Sa na adwemu kan na ni tipai na for reason to akọ hospital na wakotwere baabi obi akohu hospital no. It is a breach of privacy. You can't just write things in notebook and open it. And you know, say, that information you are collecting is a sensitive information, and for that matter, those information must be given the necessary protection they need. It will be more information because of the fact that you're public. It can lead into so many legal litigations. It's so easy, and I say so. Say, we breaches our law. We now will be the court. Ni who say what you be data and now what quality will be data internet so who ye business now you want to say oh man be business no why your online website be now the form will be at to phone for information now let us hear about you and now your university will say do you want to register for this course give us your data so that we get back to you. Please make sure say information now original, it is in compliance with the Data Protection Act, and your data privacy law must be consistent with the act. Into the company, we need data protection, we need privacy laws, we need privacy, terms and conditions on your website. You will come copy the dito from other companies. So I did say the court ne ni ebie mu a. Obo say wo de na any de emra ne ka no e boy bra totally. E boy bra. Intene de make come what say information any name be awoye no e wo se ohun se emra na e bata ho no wo de ye adwuma and sorry keke mfa information man crofobia and sorry keke en share with telephone numbers ni email address ma organizations be. You must understand say the law is so strict when it comes to privacy of individuals. Okay, section 18 of our constitution, it tells you say obia privacy. The law allows that the privacy of people should be respected. And that privacy is found in section 17 to 26 in terms of the personal details and privacy of people. The law deals with it in that act. Until you go to Supreme Court to call for interpretation, they refer to that section 18, then they will come back to section 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, up to 26. That deals with the protection. Internet, uko be Facebook, wakufo be image, and now be picture be, oh baby, na nipa ne nye na adwin so obehye no ade akoto baby na all the gu nipa no ho fia. It is a breach of privacy against the person's personal data, psychological, social identity. Say a nipa no ye we enti no de abeto abonten say nipa no we we o, and by mere the fact that there's an intention behind it, it is a breach of privacy. enye ni din nko, enye ni sex tape nko, enye ni pictures nko, even the psychological aspect said the nipa nadwemu tie kra no, it is part of his personal data, and so it must be kept confidential. You must understand how these things work, and how you must understand say Mrano Emma ho kwan. Say okay in section 19 now. Was say personal data may be only be processed if the purpose for which is to be processed is necessary, relevant, and not excessive. Engage on how the frame be identity theft. Obi information bi odi ye obi now sometimes you cry no SMS a wunyan efri he Intenoko baby no because ye tu kwan obi anfa ne number mrain fa telephone number bra ana okoto aduane pa che fa odino number mine ana okọ baby ene obi timi the number phone gina kwan ho wase opese oto ade a o de ma telephone number no within ye be get in touch with you for what? You are not under any obligation to give your personal data unless the law requires that you should give it. And then no main kasan kwetri. Na de ba ko amrane sa ka hu bi mu ne section 20 was say a person shall not process personal data without prior consent of the data subject unless the purpose for which the personal data is processed is necessary for the purpose to which the data subject is a party. Without prior consent to into what the data no crowd the crowd the person must agree to it because he is a party to it. It is an okko trade no because if our number mama no we musani the oji number na ye na no answer akwetena say twen say do aduane bebrɛw na afi oni beba ahoso ni ye send advert ni sa nema no which is not part of the reason to omoje number okko also okko aduane keke afi are you now a loyal customer to the point say uno mo that relationship so bit me your number send you anything that they want. And other back school need information be brave oba kura na computer kura ye din kola ni data kura gusu no kura no enye papa the school bit me ka say ye data ni nyina wipe enkofo data ni nyina ayira really. And company be a when ni on taking reasonable steps to secure people's personal data timika sa ayira and I hard drive na ha your computer na crash it be ayire free so it hey. And you trust such an institution with your children's medical records, with your children's identity, anything that can connect to them, you trust that institution. I think I said Ghana Education Service should begin to look into how these institutions process students' data. And if it's not compliant, they should be shut down. Because data now, it is regulated by law. And as long as you are violating the law, it is an offense. And baby keke. And then you see the obi for telephone number mame, for number mame, for di mame, and for na what tie chro me pa ocho enye baby a o. Obi anso ntimi nhyaw. Internet so ko website bi na ye for di mame, for etina Facebook dey make say e kwan ye fa so di information ko Facebook is wrong. And the Facebook will register say for our telephone number ne, we email address. If you have a telephone number keke no ma send you code. No log in. And no. Why? Because the omu here and say obe log in. Now you study who you are. No mo so turn advert, mo so turn the tani bi man crofo. But then there make one sim later. It is so you very very careful. no. I mean, post friend numbers no. 0201 0201 825 252 0201. Obet me a free now. 0201 825 252 0201 825 252. Hello.
Hello, Master Clive.
Hello, Bacho.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sammy, me Priscilla.
No, Sammy, Bacho.
Yes,
sir.
You, not a temper, but last week, no more, statistical service one, around. Almost say national service persons one, personal in a mobile. Almost see, almost real. And see, yes, man, no more, no. Almost a detail. In fact, me no takra, but me share no so no cry near my actress of her. And I'm a man with details.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's wrong or right. Secondly, I no pay number for electricity. No pay any me call any dinner, and I meet my card. And I exchange number. But Hannah say we are, you know, my friend not here back. And you also, I say, it is not some training, and I'm not some training.
All right. It is the statistical service for the Belfry. I mean, they are required by law to do certain things and require some data to be collected. In Tomodia, you can't to me and see because I know the Emra and I'm how some way juma. But they make any institutions are data winning baby omode crop, baby omode free, the omode ye. Almost submine unimum we be cramp or website near there or money policy privacy be and once on my website and kekena jink of data and then I make one say also you careful because information I want and next so because we beat him the do woo and one we hear of physical presence we just need a DB bit me connected to you tina me Ghana card many break Ghana card and for them for 40 me amount for SIM card a register for Ghana card and I make it because so data na Ghana card no so be bia na ya connect no it's obi the register phone abra wonye aware na won consent to it e dangerous and on mine no so say me nya steps bia ye take crash e dey solve that problem no say dey enko phone timi mfo bi kra card enko register number bi and I suggest say omonye two-factor authentication keke. Hello. Hello. Hello, but what say?
Discipline, brother.
Discipline.
Oh no, I say you tap GBC ready. Oh no, net here because we try them. Now a Ghana card a Ghana card. I'll be no need be no register. How they are danger? Yeah, Ghana card. I am man of respect. Yeah, the register ship. Huh? And Ghana I want brother. I'm not going to do my. Especially as I say once them have Ghana power. But we move see that document. That thing. Someone soldier need police need
discipline be here nti we mama mo bi sumra bi na yenya there as panso nyame hira eti yenye very careful as on mine especially your data protection act no yen starting fanya adwuma na enkrofo bi hu kwan sa eso mo fa so mo be start de emra na ye adwuma because hello
me apu di say
nyame adumo
the day the uncertainty what going to do say ato Ghana card no say o man de ahoho ne de sonko ene yen so di yen Ghana fo ne de sonko a o ye be ya o di boni wo di boni papa ngai to go ni say kaso to go tan wa de man o Ghana ni esha si am de fro wi say no bi ada ho no register si no mi anka se mi Ghana uncertainty no say me ko say o ti pa ID card into one register money me Ghana card mo wi na ka tu ka do wi a
any we are so reporting why
police ni mpo e ma one phone bi se mi fan ko bi fan ko je me twa na America ke me say 50 Ghana because sometimes na me nya problem o ma me nya problem ka me miss call me na me sorry listen that me nya Ghana kan register me say me Ghana na ya say me what attacking what bomb you it record that we about trauma and we ya me yiri 25 if you are possible so we
so Miss Police no me no because it's one take camera no come anya it matter
That's it pa
you do my papa you do my
that's it nti your data protection no ehun hia ye ho nsem no de Ghana card de bia make so make sa because ye bi bia na wasa card no so no this is on mine no ahu say nkofo de register for SIM card yen take drastic measures to stop that attitude say yen discouraging crofo with a serious taker a bit me say deal we afi ye see an cause yen sisa ne man no in the years to come obi kura be kwa brochire na ye ka just ba hadada then abaya ye do Ghana card akoye bibi wo honom am ya register within the system mu abra wonnim ho hwe and na one kasa nso no a wo so ko ba bia ye ka say fa wo telephone number mame fa wo number mame fa wo phone number mame say wonnim crofo na mo gi numbers na sa details na wo ye den na wo de ma wo. Don't do it. You are not under any obligation to disclose unless the law requires this information are being collected in lawful manner. And no koto duane krese for telephone number mam. Or aduane na koto ne telephone number na ye ne. Ye ju telephone ye ju din. Oh ha ya bo din krase be ju aduane no. The next day won call ho nse ya catch us ye ne ye ton aduane o. E de no bitimi send on SMS marketing abra wunye consent to it. Ye Data Protection Act no. The data protection for they should be up and doing. They should begin to strike. So they be encrofo data encrofo collecting. And the hospital bu abeko notebook da ho. And encrofo di omo and omo yare nyina no. Obi su kwa no akotro. Obi kwa no akotro. It's like ye mo bia privacy wo ho. And the doctor etia asem a na obi ti ho na wo tie de eka. No ogusuniti. As if say onum komo na ye die. These are very crucial. And our organization, they be a notebook. We in the bar how time way, and there are some names that they are not even supposed to be known. And these people are just walking away with people's privacy, and nothing is being done about it. It's very, very sad. International WhatsApp American 0201-825-252 0201-825-252 0201-825-252 0201-825. Obetimi afre na wachira wadwen make data privacy kwanya ye befa so a ye betimi abo ye data ho ban na ye ka se wo data enye wo din kwa ene enye wo age ene enye wo sexual orientation wo psychological being wo mental wo any physical features bi a ye betimi identify wo e kan wo ti se obi fa wo bibi a ye wo ho ade ekoye bibi a well, we need to deal with Minkwan and Minim and Hankwan and the Koya. You have every cost to bring an action against the person. And Ghana, you fast animal in your grabuchis animal, don't with discount. So be data, no one said the bonting, Abra, when a company on the command, and you cross independent information really easy. And I will be able to kind of baby say, me call hospital, be I'm going say, Nipa Sume Sicrano, ya an operation, yes, Yarea or Yarini. And information and the nurses to hospital. Now, omutimi kofi can obi medical conditions, mame without fear or favor. How? And the hospital come if you come on, nipa ye yare. TSA careful, nipa data there. On my money, baby, one of the most sensitive information. I knew say about one thing. Dena obi academic performance yem prenti enye itimi twa na de abetu internet so dena why put release that information to the public nipa no cry before be out no cry no the information e can public it index number no na ekwan omofa so mo generate there's no connection no say we nipa index number e be betimi print obi results just like that